Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of Megawatt's Megachat, my new YouTube video series and podcast. So, you're in the right place if you are someone that works in the corporate world, but who knows that there's a lot more to life than the quest for pennies. And you're probably a creative person who is smart and has some kind of academic education, and you've done pretty darn well in your career so far. So, high fives to you. Um, that's my rose quartz, just in case you're wondering what I'm fiddling with. You are here because you are struggling with the corporate world and the corporate environment. It's paying your bills and giving you a good salary, and it's all you've ever known, right? Since you started your professional career. And you do like what you do. So you're enjoying some of that concentrated day-to-day work. Maybe you love the people that you work with. You've got a good team, or maybe you don't. Could be either. And you are really good at what you do, and you get recognized for it. You've done well, you've been promoted, and people generally appreciate what you bring to the business. And all of that's okay. What I'm not about to say is, it's time to turn your back on your whole corporate life and switch careers completely and go become a yoga teacher, although always an option. I do have a yoga teacher training myself, and I did do that for a few years, kind of on a portfolio career basis. So yeah, so that's you. So you're very welcome here. You're going to take away, well, I hope you're going to take away some support more than anything, and just a level of knowing that you're not the only one that feels this way and that's going through this almost like push-pull dilemma of how much of your energy, your time, your love, and your attention do you give this career and this business that you work for versus what else you want in your world. That balance piece, that traveling, adventure, love, romance, health, exercise, diet, nutrition, hobbies, creativity, painting, drawing, singing, acting, family, loved ones, maybe caring for people who are not so well, giving back to your community. I mean, what a spectrum of opportunities and not really options, because you don't want to pick and choose different things, but what possibilities for a blend there are out there in your world right now. Maybe you're someone that's thinking of having a baby. Maybe you've already got babies or children. You're very welcome here, all parents and non-parents. So yeah, so that's you. And I am Amy. I have run for the last, gosh, 6 years now, and nearly 7 years actually, a coaching business called Megawatt Coaching. And what I've specialized in is helping people from a corporate career path to find more fulfillment, meaning, and energy and inspiration for their working life. And that has taken them in all kinds of directions. So usually there has been a bit of a Trojan horse of life coaching sneaking in there. So they didn't really sign up or buy that, but I knew it was going to be a part of it. So they've ended up doing the work with me and becoming truer to themselves. It's all about integrity, and it's all about standing in your truth and being brave and taking more risks than you otherwise would do when you're in that kind of safe space of doing what you should be doing, what your parents thought you should do, or your teachers, or your boss, and just deciding for yourself where you're gonna stick with what they want from you and play their game, and where you're gonna throw the dice and play your own game. I've been playing my own game for quite some time now. I did start off in the corporate career, so I was in PR for many years and I had a grad job and I worked for a lovely agency that kind of took me through the paces of learning about what business was like and what it was about. And I got to 20 7, wherein I just thought, this is this is not what I signed up for. I liked the work, I liked the people, but I was doing long hours at a desk. I was feeling really drained when I got home. I was feeling like I didn't have the time or energy to pursue anything outside of my own corporate career. And that wasn't what I wanted. I was a naturally creative person. I wanted to go down the kind of art route and do all that kind of juicy art foundation, creative stuff. But my parents said, no, that's not for you. You stick with your traditional subjects and play it safe. Because for them at the time, an arts degree provided safety. I don't quite know how they worked that one out. But yeah, they were never going to get me to be a doctor. So I think they worked that out at quite an early point. Um, yeah, and so after my little mini office meltdown, where I put my foot down, threw my toys out my pram, and went down to 4 days a week, and just did yoga and art on my fifth day, which the rest of the office was like, "What's Amy up to? Like, why does she do that?" And I think they thought I was a bit unusual, but they left me to it, so I still did a good job while I was there. Um, yeah, so came out of that and eventually just that was my first taste of, you can decide these things for yourself. You don't have to stay 100% in the rules all the time. You can ask for things, make your own rules if you know what's important to you. And then I really kicked the door down and went freelance for quite a number of years. So I left that really good job with, good prospects, pension, all the, safety that you get with it, and just went off to south of France with my partner at the time for a few years, and we both kind of set up our freelancing offering. Mine was like, uh, I'll do anything PR type shop, and his was graphic design. And this was back in 2014, so some time ago now, way before everyone started being more open-minded about working for themselves and doing their own thing. Um, and that just gave me the opportunity to start to work with a coach and to question and to get the answers that I wanted around, well, where do I want this to go? Who am I? What am I about? What's different about me? All that stuff that we're not really taught in that like cookie cutter school of you have these qualifications, you're the same as everyone at your level in a corporate environment, and you do the same thing. And you can end up, if you haven't had good mentoring or support around you, just feeling very unspecial, if that's the word. Very not good. Um, so I had to go into all of that and find it out for myself. I was lucky I had a mentor who was amazing. I met her on a yoga teacher training course. She's a lady called Elaine Grix, who was very senior in Heathrow's HR team. And then she set up on her own as a coach. And she just taught me a lot about what coaching can bring and how it all works and what's involved in it. And so, yeah, those were some massive unlocks for me over those years, which I hadn't had the time or the headspace to properly do when I was in my office environment. So all my energy was going in one kind of straightforward direction. But I was just in amongst nature out in France. It was a very small village in the south of France. Somewhere where my grandma had bought a house originally, so we knew the village and were really fond of it. I'd been visiting it since I was a child. A little place called Plon de la Tour down near Saint Maxime and Saint Tropez. And every day I just wake up and think, oh, if I was still in London, I'd be getting on the tube right now, squeezing into the Victoria line like a little sardine, and just in that, like, felt like a very grey, dark energy to me, for many, many years. Uh, and so I was just picturing all of these commuters doing that while I was on a walk on an empty beach out of season. yeah, looking out over the ocean with the sun sparkling on the water and the smell of pine needles. And God, it really was beautiful. And learning from the French as well about joie de vivre and how they prioritize differently. I won't go into all of that now because I feel like we could do a whole conversation about that another time. But it was like a lightness, a weight off my shoulders of just being in that different environment in nature and feeling more myself and just having less noise around me, like visual noise, audio. I'm very easily stimulated. Like I try and take in a lot at once. And so I did find London very exhausting from that point of view. So I ran away for a few years to the south of France. And then there was a call to come back with having my daughter, Jamie, who is now 6 years old, have ended up on the south coast of the UK in, well, I like to call it South Sea, but really it's part of Portsmouth, but South Sea sounds a bit nicer. So yeah, I think British seaside, the whole works, the piers, the pebble beaches, all that good stuff, bleak wind along in the winter. Um, but yeah, it feels like home. There are a nice little community of friends that I've got down here now. The partnership I was in when I had my daughter didn't work out, didn't turn out to be a kind of long-term romantic relationship for me, but we're very stable co-parents and we're both bringing up our daughter together. Um, and yeah, I won't go into that too much right now. Maybe there's more I'll say another time, but it's been a interesting few years getting to that point, shall we say. You really do learn a lot about yourself when you start to question your relationship and take bold steps in that direction as well to just get clear on really, is this right for me? And yeah, all the stuff that goes along with that. But anyway, back to you and what you can take from today, this little introductory episode to my YouTube channel, which I can't believe I'm doing, by the way. I do feel quite nervous about it and a little bit vulnerable, but that's all good. That's all part of the stretch, really. And it's all part of helping to reach you because you're what matters here. And you deserve the absolute best from life. Um, and I think the starting point is really not necessarily, gosh, what's your quest? Where are you going to go? Where's your south of France? But it's always fun to think about these things if you want to. Um, but more just with the week you've got coming up ahead of you. It's Tuesday as I film this. What is what is it that you bring? What is it that those around you appreciate about you, whether or not they say it, you won't necessarily know. And actually, a brilliant, brilliant exercise that I often do with my coaching clients, and I really, if you take one thing from this podcast, I'd recommend giving this a go, is asking at least 5 people from your network. So, from all different parts of your life, from siblings, parents, through to friends, uni friends, work friends, bosses, people you manage, um, people that know you in different contexts. What do you think my strengths are? And it will feel cringe. No one likes doing this, but actually, people love to feedback on your strengths and they love to share them with you. So, do give it a go. You can do it on email, maybe just fire them out. Don't think about it too much, don't analyze it, just say I'm doing a bit of self-development work or, I'm thinking about having some coaching and just fire off the emails and see what comes back. And you will be amazed at how consistent the themes are that are going to come through. So, people that have known you since you're a child versus colleagues that met you last year are going to say the same things about you. And the next trick to it is to really believe it and to really accept it as something that is unique and special to you because you will think, oh gosh, isn't everyone good at listening? Or, isn't everyone super organized? And the answer is absolutely not. you might be surrounded by people like that because you've gone into a career where it's encouraged and where it's recognized to be that way. But this blend of your strengths and what others see in you is your personal cocktail, if I could put it that way. You know, it's your secret sauce. And it is just so affirming when, you are feeling a bit lost in your whole working world and maybe your wider life to see on paper what people really appreciate about you. So that is my kind of key takeaway for this particular Megawatt Mega Chat. And it's somewhere where I almost always go in the early days of coaching my private clients because when they see that, it gives like a natural lift. And it can make you almost retrofit why you are doing what you do. Because the likelihood is that you, in your particular environment right now, actually brings out a lot of your natural strengths. And you might have lost sight of that, which is really easily done when you're feeling too much of the weight of the corporate world and the pressure around you, or particular characters being difficult, or whatever's getting you down right now. So, just a little reminder of this for yourself. Yeah, do yourself a favor and get that email out today. Dictate it to AI, get AI to write the email for you, just to do it in a quick, efficient, easy way, a WhatsApp message, a WhatsApp voice message, whatever works for your particular crew. And they'll get back to you, I promise, and they'll tell you, what they think about you. And it will be more than you realize that they value you. Okay, that's probably enough for today. I hope that you found that a little bit interesting, at the least. And I will be coming back to you over the next few weeks and hopefully months to come with many, many more of these mega chats where we'll cover everything from when you're the only one that feels like I want to say grown up in the office, there's quite a lot of children at the top. So you might be navigating some of that. We'll be looking at AI and how to use it when you are in that type of environment to your own advantage, and why clarity is so important for that. And clarity in knowing yourself is so important for getting the most out of it. We'll start to look a bit at balance and where and how to explore that and look at your own kind of priorities right now. I'll go into more stories as well from my own world and some little anecdotes that I can share from coaching and the wonderful clients that I have and how I work with them. And yeah, so stay tuned, follow, like, and all that jazz. And yeah, we'll speak again soon. Have a great day.